This is a paid program. JJ Publicidad, EMR, and its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guest.
Are you looking for awareness, motivation, inspiration, or just some feel-good talk radio? If so, you've come to the right place. Dr. Nancy knows how to do just that. With her extensive experience and knowledge, she is dedicated to providing care, health, and wellness information and education to the greater Phoenix metropolitan area and beyond. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Dr. Nancy knows. Starts now.
Good morning. Good morning. Listen, it is Saturday morning, and I'm so happy that you are tuned in to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. It's your medical celebrity, doctor. Listen, I just want to tell you that you do not want to miss this show. I'm super excited to have two guests here today, a special guest. I was holding out on all of you all. David Brown is going to be here today. He is the CEO of Activz, and I'm going to tell you all about what that is and what he does as it pertains to epigenetics. You know, here at Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show, I'm always researching and looking for innovative technologies that improve your overall health and wellness. I took an oath to do right by my clientele and the patient population that I service, and that's what I intend to do. And so this is an informative platform where, we bring on expert guests that are, they're experts in their field of industry, and they share information that's credible, reliable, palatable, easy to digest, that is useful in many, many ways in your life. Not to mention, we do bring on celebrity guests as well. And we often like to know what the guests' journeys are, what brought them to where they are today. And it's so interesting, so many common themes that are going through. All of the guests have been on the show, really. It's all about giving back and living in the present and motivating individuals through inspiration. It doesn't take much at the end of the day to provide hope. And, that's what we continuously do. And remember, I often say it's free. Be the change that you wish to see in the world, and it only takes one. So thank you for tuning in. I really like to thank my sponsors today. Here at Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show, we're multicultural. We bridge the gap of diversity. And today, we're going to talk about Black History Month as well. But let's talk about our guest and supporters. Activz. We have guest here, Dr. David Brown from Utah. He flew in to be a guest today, and we want to thank him and his organization, Activz, for supporting us here at Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. We have Sonoma Oral Facial Surgery, Lynn and Peter down there in Gilbert, Arizona. EMR eMotion Radio here at the studio. We have Javier, Veronica, and Julian. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and dedication behind the scenes every week to allow Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show to come into your homes. Thank you, guys. Maggie's Makeup. Maggie worked her magic on me this morning and every Saturday. She does all my special events, and she can do yours too. If you like how I look, then you can have the look. She is a part of Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine and can be reached at 480-669-6452. Profit Laser Lipo, Gary Charlson, supporter and sponsor of Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Thank you, Gary. We also have newcomers and supporters. Revision, David Tucker. He is a medical device national distribution organization company, and we'd like to thank David Tucker with Revision. Let's talk about current events. I often like to bring everyone up to speed and just dispel any confusion out there. And COVID is very, very relevant, and I'd like to bring to you some numbers. Now, I do want to tell you that, the United Nations, the whole entire world, we are doing our part by practicing social distancing, very much important, staying home when you're not feeling well, covering your face. Yes, the statistics worldwide and nationally are trending down. And I think the vaccines are certainly contributing to that as well. Now, listen, I do want to bring on my special guest, and that is Coco Gonzalez. And Coco is, she is an Activz associate slash distributor. And she has spent many years, her background is in indoor cycling, and many years affording and dedicating her life to health and wellness. Now, she works for a company and is a part of an organization that we're going to talk to the CEO when we come back. But it's regarding Activz is the first company with epigenetic supplements. Epigenetics is an emerging branch of modern genetics that studies the changes caused by activation or genetic expression without modifying the DNA sequence. This means optimizing your genes without modifying them so that you reach your full potential. I'd like to welcome you today, Coco Gonzalez. Hi, Coco.
Hi, thank you for inviting us. It's a
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, we connected recently, and I fell in love with your spirit. I fell in love with, you know, your sincerity and your dedication to health and wealth and wellness as well. And your activation or participation in Activz. Tell me how you got to be a part of the organization.
Well, that's a very easy question to answer. I had a pharmaceutical degree, so I know I'm very involved with that aspect of pharmacy and prescriptions and all the kind of stuff. So I know all the side effects that those can cause. But as I'm being now more, in the group fitness industry, and as I'm getting younger, I know I know that supplementation is essential, and to get that supplementation is where you need to have you need to do your job to trying to get the best for your body. And I found it here in Activz that keep me going with my activities. I love it. And also I had, another avenue opportunity to be working from home and be creating also potential income as I am, sharing about them. So, and I like the company, I like the core values that they have, and I like the people with who I am involved. They become kind of your family or part of your family. So it's been amazing to be with them. And
Well, that's really great, Coco, because your background with pharmaceutical sales and how Activz is really heavily entrenched with researching products and innovative technology, epigenetics. And if that explanation of my definition of what the organization stands for and how it uses epigenetics to change the gene expression that will decrease inflammation, oxidative stress, and free radicals, which cause badness in your body, you're going to need to stick around to hear what David Brown has to say about the supplementation. And yeah, absolutely. I understand that it aligns with your core values. And at the end of the day, writing a prescription can sometimes often cause side effects. And, natural supplementation that really works within the cell to actually maintain its functionality so that your nutrients can actually work for you and actually detoxify everyday free radicals and stress. How wonderful of a product, really, and an organization to be a part of.
yes.
We're going to get to know the CEO founder, and he has a heart of gold and passion. He's God-fearing, and he expects his organization to be the same. And, we've often talked about here at Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show that you need to align yourself with individuals and organizations that support your morals and values.
Correct.
Yes, absolutely. So we're really happy to have you here, a part of the show, and to stay with us as we get to know David Brown and his organization and what he stands for, and talk about some of the products and the business model of where, you know, an individual can actually make a living with this product as well. So not only stay healthy, but also increase your wealth. So that's really important at the end of the day. You know, it doesn't get any better than that, particularly when millions of Americans are losing their jobs, and they're looking for ways to build their legacy and to build wealth. And this is one of the ways that you can do that. So listen, we're going to have David Brown when we come back. He's CEO of Activz. Remember, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but it's who she knows. We'll be right back.
You don't want to miss what's coming up next, because Dr. Nancy knows. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy. Welcome to our clinics. We believe that personalized care and relationship building are the basis of improving health outcomes. At Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, you gain healthcare providers who take the time to understand your health goals and find solutions. We offer optional medical memberships, giving you peace of mind and quality care. We provide both medical and aesthetic services in 2 Arizona locations. We practice the highest standards of patient care. We respect patients' rights. We safeguard patient confidences. We treat patients with compassion. You are invited to call the office to schedule an appointment or online at a time that is convenient for you. Call to schedule 480-669-6452 or visit our website at drnanciesintegrativemedicine.com. Are you a business owner looking for ways to invest in your staff's health? Their well-being is key to a long-lasting employment life. NG Care's healthcare membership packages allow you to leverage pre-tax dollars and applicable tax health incentives. Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy of Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, introducing NG Care's healthcare membership packages to include primary care and injury office visits, management of acute and chronic disease, 24/7 telehealth services, preventative care, labs, immunizations, and chiropractic office visits. You receive discounts on diagnostics and services offered at Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine as a preferred member. Combine this with paycheck protection plans such as accident, short-term disability, hospital bridge, and a life insurance is priceless. 2 plans to choose from, Elite and or Pro. Packages starting at as low as $225 a month. Remember, NG cares about you. For more information, you can go to ngcares.com or call us today at 480-669-6452.
You're listening to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Ask your questions now. Dr. Nancy is listening.
Good morning. We are back with David Brown, the CEO of Activz, and it is a revolutionary company that was formed with him and his team to bring more awareness and supplementation that's very much needed in this country. If you're concerned about inflammation, oxidative stress, and free radicals, he's got the answers for you as to what product will change and impact many lives as it relates to chronic pain, cancer, autoimmune disorders, natural supplementation at its finest. I'd like to edify David Brown. He's the CEO of Activz. David Brown jokes that his path early in life, when he realized he wasn't going to be 6'4" and always sport a full head of hair, he said, "I've learned early that there's a lot of things beyond our control. So we should try to control the things that we can and try not to worry about the rest." That realization and passion for nutrition, health, wellness, as well as a law degree from Cornell, has led to years of successful experience in the nutrition industry. David is perhaps best known for identifying which sales channels will maximize a company's growth. Rather, it is taking Metabolife from direct sales to becoming the world's largest retail diet brand, or taking LifeVantage out on its struggle retail efforts and turning it into a $200 million direct marketing company. David has been behind some of the greatest success in the entire nutritional industry. That path led David and his team to create Activz and bring to the world life-changing products based upon decades of research. And he embraces it wholeheartedly. We offer a different path for health. Activz offers products you simply can't get anywhere else. We have products that have a profoundly positive effect upon health, and we're making it easier for average people to succeed. A position David literally understands. Active is more than a name, he says. It's an outlook on an energy, a driving force, and we want to share it with the world. That's the future of Activz and everyone who joins with us. He's not only a father, a son, but he's a grandfather as well. He loves all outdoor activities, and, little unknown fact, he's an avid reader and fluent Japanese. He speaks fluent Japanese. Welcome, David.
Good morning, Dr. Nancy. It's great to be here with you.
It's so great that you took the opportunity to spend some time with me and our viewers to tell us about your organization. And listen, I don't just bring anyone on the show that has a product that's not proven. And to do it in a natural way, in an innovative way that no one else is doing is miraculous. And I want everyone to know what you're doing and what you're doing at Activz and how much it's helping people in their health and wellness area, but also in their wealth, in their, everyday economic status. So you can improve people's lives simultaneously, improve their health and their wealth. So tell us, how did you do what you do with Activz?
Well, you mentioned a little bit in my background that I'm a lawyer by training.
Yes.
And all of us take kind of winding paths to where we end up. And mine ended up here at Activz with a great, wonderful team of people who have had great success in the nutritional supplement arena and other business aspects. But what's really rewarding to us is not only to have everyday people join us, but people with pharmaceutical backgrounds like Coco, medical professionals, doctors like yourselves who see the value of what we're doing. You mentioned the word epigenetics. That's something that the average person doesn't know too much about. But really, as an average guy who's not a doctor, the way I explain it is that our genes control everything about our health and many things in regards to our mental health as well as our physical health. And sometimes we feel like, well, our genes are where they are. We can't do anything about it. But as you know, Dr. Nancy, our bodies are wonderful things, and they're really designed to heal themselves. So if we can help those genes operate at the optimal level, that's what epigenetics do. Influence is outside the gene. And so the word Activz, the name Activz of the company, really defines what we're all about. Activating your health at the genetic level and activating your financial health. Because we talk about oxidative stress, which is damage caused by those nasty free radicals that we can't avoid. But there's another kind of stress. There's emotional stress that comes from worrying about debt, worrying about not having enough money, not being able to provide for our family, especially during COVID as jobs are lost or maybe income goes down. And so to be able to combine those two avenues of physical health and financial health, that's really rewarding, and that's what we're all about.
Well, that's an amazing story, actually, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the company, the products, and how they work as specifically too, and kind of like the ideal person that would be good to take these products, right? But let's talk about your journey. You're so well poised and you're educated, and has it always been easy?
Oh, I don't think anything's easy for anybody, right? I grew up on a ranch in the mountains of Utah, 2 miles outside of a little town of 100 people. That's if you counted some of the cows, maybe you'd get 100. And it was not known for its academic accomplishments, but I was very lucky. I had parents who told me that I could do whatever I put my mind to do. and I believed them. So you mentioned I went to Cornell Law School. And one time when I was there, I received a letter, back when people still wrote letters, from my father. And he said, David, did you ever imagine while you were working in the fields that you'd find yourself at Cornell Law School? And I said, well, of course I did. You told me I could do anything I wanted to put my mind to. Was that just a lie, or were you just, were you telling me the truth? So I was blessed from the very early age of having people around me who said, if you really work hard, you can do anything you put your mind to do. And I believe them. And along the way, I've been blessed with other people just like you, just like Coco, who really are part of that journey, because none of us do anything on our own. If we have any measure of success, it's because of the people around us, as well as God's blessings in our lives.
That's right.
And so if we ever think it's just us, we're probably due for a fall.
Absolutely. So you would agree that having mentors in your life is paramount to molding and shaping your future, actually building your psyche and getting your mindset ready for the world to believe that you can dream big and become whatever you want to be.
Absolutely. I think it's a real mistake to confine ourselves to just learning from our own experiences. If we can learn from others' experiences, their education, their background, boy, that just helps us move faster and further along that learning curve to accomplish things that otherwise we probably couldn't do.
That's exactly right. Okay, awesome. Now let's talk more about Activz and the product line. You've mentioned how the products, the supplementation works within the cell to maintain optimal health, right? And we've got a list of the products on the air now. Links, for example, there is a direct relationship with your gut and your brain, and one often says that you have two brains, and one is your gut, and obviously one is, in your head. How does links work?
Well, you mentioned earlier about the oath you took as a doctor, and that's called the Hippocratic Oath, right? Do no harm, help other people. Well, what some people forget is that Hippocrates, who's named for that, the Hippocratic Oath, also said something else that we forget about, that all disease begins in the gut. Now, that might not be technically true, but it's pretty true. And so if you can heal the gut, then you're really on the path to better health. And as you just mentioned, science has shown that there's this tremendous link between our brain and our gut. That's where the name link comes from, to describe that connection. So the secret sauce, so to speak, is something called butyric acid. And butyric acid, Dr. Nancy, you know this, but I didn't know anything about this. I'd heard of something called a short-chain fatty acid, which friendly bacteria in our system produces naturally. But as we get older and as we don't eat correctly and we don't exercise and do things that we should, our levels of this butyric acid goes down. And so we provide a proprietary way of getting that butyric acid back so that it heals your stomach, all the cells that line your stomach, it creates new brain cells, it decreases inflammation, and it also increases your immune system. In fact, some people call it one of the, quote, God molecules, because it's something that God has given us naturally, really as a gift, to work with every cell, every gene, to help it optimize their performance. So it's really spectacular.
That's really great. Now, Coco, I know that you personally experienced some of the products, and with links, have you noticed how it has improved your focus, mentation, and settle your stomach?
Oh, yeah, I experienced so many things. When even that I was thinking I was healthy, because I was eating correctly and doing exercise, but oxidation stress. I'm doing exercise and I'm creating oxidation stress, right? So, yeah, I had much better absorption of what I'm eating and taking. My mental focus is very, very good again. Hormonal changes, you can relate with butyric acid with hormone changes, when you go through specific changes
in your life.
And it's just a little bit of butyric acid, so those emotions and those feelings can get balanced, so a lot of people gets depressed, in a very young age, teenagers, and, anytime, it depends, and the stress, COVID, for example, so a lot of things cause stress right now, and it's just, you have your levels of butyric acid, all those kind of things, you can handle it differently, is you feel different and you feel good, and then life become more easy, right? So everything starts inside how you feel, and then you can handle the rest, right? So
No, you make a very valid point, and as a medical professional, and how important it is that I preach prevention and maintenance and a natural supplementation. I'm integrative. Dr. Nancy's integrative medicine. It just really works well, and to have actual testimonies, David, would you say that links is really essential for all ages, all age groups? It can be quite beneficial from young to the old.
Absolutely. Because our diet is what it is now. A lot of fast food, a lot of soda, caffeine, all these type of things. Even in very young children, we create damage to the stomach, and we hear about things like leaky gut syndrome. Well, that's because you have holes that you've damaged through your food primarily in your stomach. And so to heal that, we notice that a lot of allergies, things like autism and other things, are actually connected directly to gut health. And so as diet changes, like Coco mentioned, as well as eating and taking things through supplements, that it's really hard to get through your diet. It's hard to get enough butyric acid through eating food. And so if we can add on to that and supplement that, I think people of all ages, maybe young children may not need the mental clarity that we get as a little bit older, as we worry about whether our brain's functioning as well as it should, but whether it's increased digestion, increased absorption of nutrients, which will help their young bones grow, and all of us staying as young as possible and as vital as possible. I think every person ought to be taking this every day.
That's a really good point too, because when your gut health isn't great, for adolescents, you can have skin breakout, even older individuals as well. And what age would you say would be appropriate to start your product?
Well, as a supplement company, we will make recommendations that as young as 12 or 8 would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that, speaking of a skin condition, my little 4-year-old granddaughter had a breakout, and I recommended to my daughter, I think you ought to try a little bit of Link. Now, she doesn't like to swallow capsules, and so she had to open up the capsule and put it in her milk and stir it up. But within a couple of days, that skin condition improved. And so, if people have any questions about that, I would ask them to ask not just any doctor, but a doctor like you that knows something about it.
Exactly
because
right.
Many of them, they're busy and they don't really know a lot about supplements and the science. And so it's so essential to find a doctor like you that practices integrative medicine, that involves all of these things. And I think that will be very helpful for them. But virtually any age is appropriate for their use.
That's a really great point. Now, the other question that comes to mind is, the stomach has hydrochloric acid, and it breaks down a lot of things like it's supposed to do, and supplementation is not excluded. Now, how is Links formulated, for the persons or viewers to say, okay, when I take this supplement, am I going to get all of it that I need? So how does this work?
That's a great question, because even though we may think that we are, getting a lot of good from certain supplements, you're right. A lot of it actually doesn't make it through the system, and so we have very expensive supplements that people pay money for, thinking that they're going to get the benefits, but their body's not able to absorb it. We call that bioavailability, how much your body can use and put to use. And so what we've been able to do is we've been able to license technology, patent-pending technology, that is really amazing. So for example, butyric acid naturally has a couple of things that aren't so great. It smells bad and it tastes bad. And so people don't want to take that. And so what we've done is we have actually a process, if you can believe this, Dr. Nancy, where every single molecule is put into another molecule of something called cyclodextrin. And so that cyclodextrin covers it up. It covers up the bad taste and the bad smell, so that's good. But more importantly, it safely transports it through its journey through that stomach acid, and so it can be absorbed and metabolized in the intestines and then sent out towards the rest of the body where it needs to be used. In fact, we use that same technology with our other products as well.
Okay, guys, you heard it from David Brown, Activz. This particular product, Links, we're going to talk about OptiMed and also GMX as well. But the patented technology, it is innovative. It is not being utilized until now. I often talk about supplementation and how you may have to take more and more of it, a larger dose of it, in order to get the effectiveness of it because the stomach breaks it down. but this particular product is protected through the stomach. And so when it gets past the stomach, voila, it opens up and you get all of the bioavailability and the intended use. So decreasing inflammation, free radicals, and oxidative stress. I cannot stress enough to you how bad those things are. Let's talk about OptiMed. Now, I know that it is really a great product for chronic pain as well. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Sure. Well, a lot of people like to eat Indian food or Thai food. They like curry. They know about turmeric.
Ooh, yes.
And turmeric's been used for ages, not just for taste, not just for food, but in ancient Indian medicine, what's called Ayurvedic medicine. They've been using it for a variety of things, especially pain and inflammation, for literally thousands of years. Now, people may have heard of turmeric, and they may have heard of something called curcumin.
Yes.
So what they found in more recent years is that curcumin is actually a component, is what's called a phytonutrient that's found in turmeric. And it's actually what causes that reduction in inflammation, and it talks to these inflammatory cytokines, genes that kind of turn up the heat too much, and our body produces too much inflammation. But it's a very large molecule, and so even though there are literally hundreds, maybe thousands of turmeric or curcumin products out there, most of them aren't as effective as they otherwise might be, again, because of what we just talked about. It's difficult for the body to absorb it. So by putting our curcuminoid, a tetrahydrocurcumin, which is a mouthful, but actually just means it's the most bioavailable form of curcumin out there, not only taking that, but then putting it through this Psylocke system, this proprietary patented system that I talk about, it's like putting curcumin on steroids, like supercharging it so it can be really useful in your body, and people have unbelievable testimonials. Actually, I'm not sure if you've met Dr. Rish Patel yet. He's on our advisory board. He's a pain management specialist. Mm-hmm. That's what he does. And so he often talks about prescription drugs or even surgery to deaden nerves, to reduce pain. And guess who's taking OptiMed for his own back pain, and he prescribes it to his patients because he knows that it will work. And so that's what OptiMed's all about. If you want to reduce inflammation, even inflammation that you're not feeling, but which is underneath the surface causing all types of health conditions in your body, OptiMed is a wonderful product for that.
Well, we had a guest on last week, and he shared a story about one of his family members saying that he felt great, he didn't need to go to the doctors, and he finally did, and had pancreatic cancer, and he passed in 6 months. But so it really speaks to your point about, this product is working behind the scenes to keep badness away. And not saying that you don't have to see a healthcare provider. You do, because I do practice health prevention and maintenance. So knowing is so much more. It's half the battle to know, what you potentially can have as opposed to what you have. And so prevention is key. And these are supplements that can really help improve your quality of life. And I know Coco, being a longtime cyclist as well, me, avid runner, workout as well, your muscles can get sore and tired. I know that you take OptiMed, and have you noticed a difference?
Oh, yes, of course. I've been running for 22 years, marathons and kind of races, and then I put the indoor cycle classes. So the joints feel it. Inflammation is there. Even I try to take care of myself. I can do anything about inflammation. However, I start taking OptiMed, and I see a huge release in inflammation in my knees. I started going back running again more, coming back almost close to the time that when I was younger, and also I'm able to recover very, very, very quickly. And so, and not only for myself, I give it to my son. One day he said, "Mom, I had a headache because now it's online classes, I'm better to go for the other prescriptions, the control. I give you an OptiMed," and 15 minutes later, he's like, "Oh, I feel good." So better than give you something else that's going to cause an effect on the liver or kidney, why don't give you something natural to your family, to your loved ones, right?
Well, you've heard it here, and I always practice holistic first and foremost, because, well, there's more than one way to get to the root of wellness and or disease states, and it doesn't always necessarily mean a prescription. Of course, when you write a prescription, there can be certainly side effects. And so, the most healthy way to improve your quality of life is what I propose. And when I discovered Activz and the level of dedication and research and the innovative technology and the widespread testimonials of how beneficial the products are, I wanted to bring David Brown on and talk about the products. Now, there is one other product I'd like to mention too, GNMX. So tell me about that product, David.
Well, the reason that we called it that, genomics, is because genome or gene is what we've been talking about. And when they turn on or they turn off like a light switch, that's called expression. And so what's really interesting, for example, with COVID, a lot of people are hearing about the importance of a strong immune system and the worrisome effects of inflammation, that when people have to go on ventilators, it's because their respiratory cells, the cells in their lungs have become so inflamed it doesn't work anymore, and they have to have the ventilator do the breathing for them. And so and they talk about inflammatory storms or cytokine storms occurring in your lungs as a result of COVID or the flu and other respiratory illnesses. So it's really key to increase the genes, turn on that switch so those immune system genes say, oh, I'm supposed to be on now? I guess I'll turn on. And then those inflammatory genes that sometimes have a role. Inflammation can be a healthy response for healing, but sometimes the body kind of goes haywire, and it's almost like the switches get stuck in the up position. And so those need to be turned off or at least turned down. And so what Genomics does through something called NRF2 activation, and NRF2, we're going to give everybody a test after this, Dr. Nancy, so I had to have them get ready for that. But NRF2 is what's called a transcription factor. And really it's a protein. And it's a protein that is kind of like a coach. It tells all these genes what they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to do it. So if you can increase the instructions that go out to these genes, then these genes are going to operate correctly and say, oh, that's what I was supposed to do. And that's what Genomics does. It helps move up the switch when it's supposed to, move down the switch, kind of like a dimmer switch. Move it up a little bit, move it down a little bit, so that those genes are expressing in the right amounts at the right time for optimal health. That's what Genomics does.
Amazing. A regulatory gene modifier within our system. This is so innovative. I mean, people, this is really great information. It's great supplementation. You would have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get this technology otherwise. And it is available. How do you get this information, right? You would ask viewers, listeners of Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show and abroad. You can go to drnancyknows.com, and you can go to the guest today, David Brown, and tab on Activz US. And that'll take you to a website that will give you information on all three of those products that we just talked about. And David, we do have another product, but with the supplementation, it's highly recommended and advised to take these all together.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just sounds like the perfect combination.
We call them the health trifecta. In fact, I think it was one of our distributors that came up with that term, and I said, that is exactly right, because they really do work in a complementary fashion, overlapping each other to, again, at the end of the day, the big bad guy in terms of health, actually there's two bad guys. One's oxidative stress, and one's inflammation. And so you want to reduce both of those as much as you can. And our products have been shown to reduce oxidative stress down to the level of a 2-year-old. Okay, so it really has an effect upon anti-aging and all the diseases and health conditions that come along with aging. It's probably not going to give me my hair back, but it actually helps me recover a lot faster, like Coco is talking about, as we work out and exercise. And then as we can reduce inflammation and help our gut-brain connection be strengthened, it really helps us from head to toe feel better and feel more active.
Well, listen, not only does it stop the signs of aging, but it can potentially reverse the signs of aging. This is amazing. Now, you do have one other product that's called Arrow, and it's actually one of your latest creations, projects. Tell us what Arrow does.
Well, Arrow is a very innovative weight loss product. You know, Dr. Nancy, in the United States and actually Mexico and throughout the world, obesity is an epidemic. And a lot of it's caused by, in some respects, it's not even people's fault because, you know, they're trying to eat on the run, so they eat fast food. I mean, nobody intentionally wants to have an unhealthy level of weight, but it just kind of sneaks up on them. And then they're like, well, no, now what do? I don't feel the energy to exercise. I feel like I just can't control it. Arrow is one more tool in your toolbox to get your health under control, to control cravings. So it actually helps you control cravings, and there's a very strong appetite suppressant through a very interesting ingredient called African mango, which is amazing. And then we actually have natural metabolic activators that increase your metabolism so you're going to burn calories faster, help you get up off the couch and go exercise and feel better, and have that energy throughout the day. And even as you are hopefully decreasing the amount of calories that you're taking in. So we're already in a very short period of time having wonderful testimonials about how people are feeling, the weight that they're losing, and how they're making a change in their lives.
Well, that's amazing because, yes, you're right. Us as a nation and worldwide, obesity it's an epidemic in itself. And, you know, diet and exercise alone is great, but when you add another supplement to put it in water, 16 ounces of water, and it suppresses your appetite and gives you energy, and it controls your blood glucose. That's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful product. We're out of time for this one segment, but we have so much more to talk about with David Brown, CEO of Activz. We'll be right back.
You don't want to miss what's coming up next because Dr. Nancy knows. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy. Welcome to our clinics. We believe that personalized care and relationship building are the basis of improving health outcomes. At Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, you gain healthcare providers who take the time to understand your health goals and find solutions. We offer optional medical memberships, giving you peace of mind and quality care. We provide both medical and aesthetic services in 2 Arizona locations. We practice the highest standards of patient care. We respect patients' rights. We safeguard patient confidences. We treat patients with compassion. You are invited to call the office to schedule an appointment or online at a time that is convenient for you. Call to schedule 480-669-6452 or visit our website at drnanciesintegrativemedicine.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy of Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine. I'd like to tell you about a service that I offer, ProFit Laser Lipo. Did you know that you could lose up to 2 inches in 20 minutes, no downtime, pain, or surgery? 8 sessions are recommended for maximum results. Call today, 480-669-6452, or schedule online at drnanciesintegrativemedicine.com.
You're listening to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Ask your questions now. Dr. Nancy is listening.
We are back, and I hope that you have been watching and listening because we've had some really great information about Activz and epigenetics and the products that are part of this organization. It's innovative technology that works at the cellular level to improve your overall health and wellness. Now listen, I mean, stopping the signs of aging and reversing them, all right, and helping with inflammation, oxidative stress, and free radicals. These are bad guys. Nobody ever wants to hear that they have that. Autoimmune, rheumatoid arthritis, autism, cancer, leaky gut, all of these things. Natural, innovative supplementation, epigenetics. We have David Brown here, and we want to talk about, again, how do we get these products? Now, I did say we could go to drnancyknows.com and tab on the guest today, David Brown, and in his bio down there's a tab that says Activz US. But is it widely available in retail? How else do we get it, or why is it this way?
Well, Dr. Nancy, that's a great question. In my background professionally, I've certainly sold supplements at retail into Costco and Walmart and Targets and Walgreens and all those points of sale. But we chose not to go into retail, and for a very specific reason. We've just spent 20 minutes or so talking about the health benefits of these products. And so you probably can't expect the clerk at Walmart to spend that kind of time with you talking about how important these products are. And so, and it's too much information to put on a label. And so retail didn't seem to be the right path to go. So what we've done is we've taken a page out of the real estate industry, the insurance industry. You know, if you're going to sell your home or buy a home, you don't go to Walmart and buy a house. You know, you go to a real estate agent. You don't go to Costco to buy insurance. You go to an insurance agent. And those people help guide you through and give you information. And so we have distributors, agents, if you will, that are associated with us. And they're the ones that can steer you towards the information, towards the videos, towards all the information that we provide, and as well as testimonials, people who have been succeeding from a health standpoint, as well as a business standpoint. Now, real estate agents and insurance agents don't do that for free. They make commissions. They make commissions on the sale of your house. They make commissions when they write insurance. And our distributors are also able to make commissions off the business that they bring in. And so it works wonderfully for us. Instead of spending, you know, most of our budget on television commercials and infomercials, we instead use that marketing money and pay commissions. Actually, about 55 or 57 cents on every dollar we pay out to commissions. And so we've been able to change the lives of people, not only from a health standpoint, but really from a wealth standpoint as well.
That's amazing. That's really, really great. So you can potentially have product that saves your life, reverses the sign of aging, and put money in your pocket. Amazing, amazing. So listen, guys, if you want to know more information on how to get Activz, you can go to drnancyknows.com and tab on David Brown's link there as the guest, and there's a tab there that says Active US. I'll put a link on Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine as well, so you can learn more about the products and inquire if you want to also be associated with you know, being a distributor and telling more individuals about what the products do and how they've changed your lives, because I do often recommend that, you know, if you're going to promote a product, you should take a product.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And we have great testimonials about the business side of this as well. You know, one of our top distributors is a single mom who's an immigrant from Colombia who now lives in Sacramento, California, who was able to take the month of August off and take her boys and spend a month in Italy, for heaven's sakes, and spend time with family there. One of my favorite stories is about an 80-year-old woman in Japan whose name is Seo-san. And if you think there's not a lot of great opportunities for business for 80-year-olds in the United States, there's even fewer opportunities for 80-year-old women in Japan. And so she was very interested. But she said, I think maybe I'm too old to do this. I think I need to partner up with somebody who's a little bit younger. And so she partnered up with the much younger 76-year-old Miyazaki-san, and together they have built a business where they're doing about $10,000 a month in terms of business for them through commissions and basically just sharing the benefits of the products and the benefits of the business, and it's changed their lives. So those stories are just as powerful, because when you're now able to take your child on a vacation, when you're now able to move from an apartment into a house, when you're able to now get that second car that you need, or plan for college for your children, or just have some savings that are difficult to do these days, that's really as inspiring to me as the stories of improving health and overcoming some serious health conditions, because there are challenges either way, and we have some solutions for those.
Well, talk about motivation and inspiration at its finest here, David Brown. Now, it sounds like, and I do know this, Activz is not just in the United States, it's international as well. Where did you found the organization, and where are you now today?
Well, that's a great question. We initially, we are based in the United States, so we have operations here, and the products are available here. They're available in our neighbor to the south in Mexico, and they are going crazy down there. We're in Peru, we're in Japan, Colombia, and in fact, really, anywhere where somebody wants to buy the products, we can make it available for them.
Well, that's wonderful. Oh my goodness. Lots of great information. Now, we're not done. There's other products that you offer through Activz as well, and it's a skincare line. We have, let's see, an essence toner. There is also a serum that's loaded with wonderful ingredients, and a mud mask. Now, the essential toner has sake or rice water, and we know how important that is to the ancients, Asian culture, and it's noted for its anti-aging and anti-wrinkling properties. And I know, Coco, you use these products as well.
Yes.
There's lots of testimonials. What do you have to say about these products?
I love them. I think they're very simple. I don't need to have like one per night, one per day. So that makes my life simple, and especially when I like, okay, so just one serum for the night and for the day, and great. And also, it's very important that has, something that protects for the damage of the sun. It has 5 actives in one, and it is a very amazing price. When you go to more expensive stores and you want to get kind of good product, how much money you spend. And here you receive the quality, unique technology, and I love it. It's just very simple.
Well, I was listening to a presentation, and we were doing some price comparison with regard to the Essence Toner and what might it be compared to a product that's retailed, and it's really pennies on a dollar. These products are wonderful. They have really great ingredients, and they're affordable. David, can you speak to the products?
Sure. Well, a lot of men don't talk about their skincare regimen, but increasingly even we are getting concerned about it because we want to look as good as we can. And so at Activz, we're taking the inside-outside approach. A lot of the things that are on the outside, you mentioned acne earlier, are really a manifestation of what's going on the inside. Mm-hmm. So through Link and Genomics and Optimin, we help you take care of the inside. But then the outside needs some help as well. And so it's really interesting. The sake water, the rice water, actually was innovated in Japan because they noticed that in the traditional way of making sake, they would have old men, usually, sometimes older women, stirring the vats of rice that were fermenting to turn into sake by hand. And they noticed that these really old people, they looked old on the outside, but they had the hands of a child. And so they thought, well, that's interesting. And science later found out that the sake, or fermented rice water, has a tremendous benefit in terms of removing the appearance of age. And so we're combining ancient Japanese wisdom, if you will, with modern science. And so people love the toner. Then with the serum, we're combining a proprietary form of vitamin C, for example, that's had some tremendous science in regards to its age-reversing aspects. And you're right, both of those ingredients can be found occasionally in other products that cost double, triple, sometimes 4 times as much as our products, very high-end boutiques. And so people come to us and say, wow, how can you do this? And, obviously as a business, we want to make money. But at the end of the day, if we can't make it affordable, if we can't make it accessible to people, just kind of like those molecules we were talking about, those molecules can't get inside. It doesn't do them any good. If we can't make it accessible to people, it doesn't do them any good either. So that's our philosophy.
Well, that's really great, and I'm using the products myself currently, and I've noticed some little fine lines around my eyes that are improving, and it's only been about a week for me, and I am looking for youth, the fountain of youth. That's what I'm looking for, in a bottle if I can get it. So really wonderful having you two on the show, and we are going to actually do a segment called Increasing Your Health, thereby increasing your health, boosting your awareness by increasing your health and wellness. And I did ask you all to stay on with me to provide some helpful tips on either health or wealth. And what did you come up with, Coco?
Well, I have my list here. Okay, so first, good habits. everything starts with good habits, and we're learning from little kids. So the best we teach our kids to have good habits that will help us the way to when they are grow. So a lot of people doesn't know that, even there in the fitness industry, people goes and spend a lot of hours at the gym when really basically what you need is only 20 minutes a day. And even those 20 minutes, people doesn't take even 5 minutes. So even to go through a walk. So take a walk, 20 minutes exercise. We call, so from a scale of 100, 20 minutes of exercise, meditation, whatever you want to call it. 40% is supplementation, and 40 is the diet. So change your habits and diet. Less sugar, because we know that sugar in the system creates a lot of issues. The diabetes is one of the big ones. What else? Take a moment to connection, spiritual connection. I think that's also essential, to be grateful and thankful. Whatever is your spirituality, but if you don't have it in you, how you're going to express it to the rest, right? So take a moment to connection with the essential inner part inside of you. Kind of less stress, but that's kind of hard in those times. But, as you take some good products and you do exercise, you eat good. Because sometimes a lot of the stress coming from your lack of eating. So if your diet is very poor, that also stimulates some hormones and insulin and things like that, and creates more depression. So, yeah. And what else? Well, enjoy relations with others,
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Connections are key.
Give, help others.
That's awesome.
And all the time when you give, you receive more.
I say that a lot here too. And David, what tips do you have for your viewers
Well, I wrote
today?
them down on this Dr. Nancy Knows card. It's awesome. And the number one tip I would say is listen to Dr. Nancy. That's the number one.
you.
Number two, listen to Coco. They both have great advice. We talk about controlling the things that you can't control.
Yes.
Again, I realized early on I wasn't going to be this tall, handsome guy with a full head of hair. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to try and control what I can control. I can control whether I exercise or not. I can control the little victories of getting up and going for a walk and doing those things. And those provide a confidence that I think really help get us going. Try not to worry about the rest. If you don't have every single thing right now in your life, that's fine. Give thanks for what you do have. And we talked about eating right and exercise. I think you mentioned something, find mentors, educate yourself, learn something every day that's different, and expand your mind. For a long time, there was thought in the medical community that by a certain age, our brain couldn't create any more new brain cells. And now it's kind of ridiculous. We know that you can. And in fact, you can create brain cells by learning new things, doing new things, and guess what? Taking butyric acid. And so take the link. So if you don't want new brain cells, don't take it. But if you would like to have them, it's a great thing to do. And then I think, whether you say, when you talk about networking is really just sharing. Okay? Sharing. And sharing goes both ways. That means giving and allowing yourself to receive. And that goes with people here upon the earth as well as heavenly gifts as well. I think that would be surprised not only about the potential that resides within each of us, but how much is out there available to us if we'll just open ourselves up to it. And then finally, believing in yourself and realizing that, all of us, we have the essence, the Spirit of God within us, which means by definition, our potential is unlimited, right? And so if we talk about we talked about the gut as being a second brain. So that gut instinct, that gut feeling is really true. But that spiritual voice is also really true. And if we sensitize ourselves and listen, we can find ourselves accomplishing things that just amaze us. And then we're with people that we want to be with. Our family is happier. It doesn't mean that we won't have difficulties. We certainly will. But we'll be able to get through those more easily as well.
Well, thank you, David. Wealth of knowledge. Thank you, Coco. CEO of Activz, and really appreciate you coming on, flying all the way from Utah, coming to visit Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Really love that. Thank you, Coco.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So listen, it's Black History Month, and I promised that I was going to give a quote each week, and my motto about Black History Month is celebrate it every day. We don't need a month to do that, but the quote is by Tyler Perry, and he says, "It doesn't matter if 1 million people tell you what you can't do, or if 10 million tell you no. If you get one yes from God, that's all you need." So next week, we do have Michaela Binsko, and she has a nonprofit that is called Veterans in Pain, and you do not want to miss what she's doing for her community, the nation as a whole, with regard to veterans that are suffering with chronic pain and regenerative cell therapies. Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine is a part of her team, and she will be here next week. Listen, really, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but it's who she knows. And we will see you next week. Bye for now.
Optimal health requires you to perform at your peak potential. Start today. Be the change you wish to see in the world. This was Dr. Nancy Knows. Thank you for connecting. We're waiting for you on our next broadcast here at EMR, eMotion Radio.